Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first day of our Vacation Bible School. We're doing it a little bit differently this year. Normally, we'd be down at Valley View Park, and we'd have games and everything like that, and we're going to get to that point. We're going to do that next year. But for now, we're going to do a little prelude of what Vacation Bible School next year is going to be like. So what you're going to do is you're going to watch this video each morning. Before the video, hopefully you've already done the theme song. We'll put a link to that on our Facebook page. And then what we're going to do after that, we'll go through the opening celebration. And your parents should have picked up at the church two things. Number one is a CD of all of the Vacation Bible School songs. And number two is a booklet that will go over the Bible lesson of the day with you. So, I'm Pastor Brian. I think you all know that. And I'm so glad that you're here, that we can at least have a semblance of Vacation Bible School this year. All week, we're going to begin with the celebration. We'll sing, we'll praise, we'll worship God together. And then we're going to pretend to go back on a trip to Bible times as you go through the lesson with your families and with your parents. And this week, we're going to get to know Moses, whose true story is in the Bible. So Moses will lead God's people on a journey. They've just escaped a mean king, the Pharaoh, who made them do really hard work. They're traveling through the wilderness on their way to a wonderful land that God promised them. Moses is trusting God to guide and provide on this journey. So like I said, I hope that before you watched this video, you watched and maybe even did the motions to our theme song, which is God Will Guide Us. Should be the first track on the CD that your parents picked up. Just like Moses and the Israelites needed to trust God on their journey, we need to trust God too. God will guide us in life and will provide for our needs. He'll never let us down. Now I want you to follow me, because we're going to go somewhere together. We're actually going to go, I'm in the church right now, we're going to go outside the church, so just follow along with me. Do you like the wilderness? Have you ever spent time camping? Have you ever spent time with family and friends doing things outside? We're going to go outside together. We're going to explore a little bit of the wilderness that we have around us, and we have a lot of it here in Valley View. And it's really good that we have that wilderness because it reminds us that God is always creating, that God is always making things, and that God is always present with us, because in the wilderness we experience nature and we experience God's presence with us. And it's really, really neat that we get to do that because we see God's creative work in the trees, in the leaves, and in the wild animals around us. So come on with me outside. So what kind of things in the wilderness do you see? Now, I have to admit, this isn't quite the wilderness. This stuff has all been planted here. But notice what color everything is. It's green, right? The leaves are green, the bushes are green, the vines coming up, the other side trees, if you want to call them that. The grass over here is green, and it reminds us of life. Green is the color of life. And so I want you to think about all of the things that you might see outside. Rocks, right? You might see birds. If you're lucky, you might even see a deer. And maybe you might be a little scared if you see this, but you might see a bear. In the wilderness, we see God. And we see God creating. But there's one sound in the wilderness that we don't want to hear. I want you now, I know you might be at home to do this, stomp your feet and pat your thighs. That's a sound maybe you don't want to hear, especially if you're Moses, because that sound is the sound of Pharaoh and Pharaoh's soldiers coming towards you, stomping your feet and patting your thighs. You didn't want to see the mean king, because that's what Pharaoh was, a mean king. If we hear that sound in the wilderness, we have to get moving. You're going to learn about that this week. I just want you all to know that this week is about talking about God's love. And it's about trusting God. So all week long, we get to visit with Moses and hear about his exciting adventure leading God's people. Moses led the Israelites through some hard, scary times when they had to trust that God was right there, looking out for them. Today we learn our Bible point, which is God is with us, so trust God. Do this with me. We're going to do a little motion with our Bible point. To trust is to kind of hold on to something, like a rope. You ever hold on to a rope? So we're going to make this motion. Trust, and when we say God, we're going to point up to God, okay? So the point is, God is with us, so trust God. Can you do that with me again? God is with us, so trust God. So now we're going to go to our lesson for the day. But before we do that, I want us to do This Is How We Overcome, which is a song on the CD. So what you're going to do is after we close off this video, you're going to do This Is How We Overcome, and then you'll go over the lesson in your booklet with your family. Have a great day, everybody, and remember, God is with us, so trust God. Thank you very much. Have a great day.